Halloween, animatronics. The two go hand in hand, and I feel like you really can't have one without the other, or at least without the other being brought up. Throughout who knows how long, we've had a ton of different Halloween animatronics, and in this video I've compiled my personal favorites. Remember, this is just my opinion, therefore if you have a different opinion, that's totally fine. These aren't necessarily listed by any specific reasons. They're just if I think they're cool or not. So some may be more scary, some may not. Some may be more complex, some may be simple. It's just a bit of a gamble. But anyways, I hope you watch this video and enjoy it. Claiming the number 10 spot is the scary sitting scarecrow. I'm not gonna lie, I like this guy, but to people who know me, this may be a little bit of a surprise that I put him so low, and it's just because this isn't the original sitting scarecrow. This is the scary sitting scarecrow, which in my opinion is a lot worse. They kind of just made his face look a lot less scary or good in general, and overall it makes it go from a somewhat unsettling and freaky prop to something that's just stupid looking, in all honesty. I don't hate him by any means, but he's definitely not good. Overall, if you don't know what this prop is, it's a scarecrow that when you reach into his candy bowl, there's a little sensor, and when you trip that sensor, his head swings up and he yells. It's very basic, very simple, but I like it. It's just the fact that they made his face look really bad, and that annoys me, so I prefer the original. But this guy is alright, so he claimed a spot on this list. Coming in at number 9 is the Members Mark Skeleton Jazz Playing Duo. These guys are pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I would put them higher up on the list if they were just slightly better mechanical quality. I actually not too long ago bought a pair of these, and I returned them because they stopped working. And it's not just a fault with mine, it seems to be a fault with a lot of them, as even a lot of store displays don't work, which is kind of a problem. Overall, these guys are pretty neat. They play it's some jazz piece, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's nice, and the animation's actually pretty well made and fluent, and until it breaks, it looks pretty good. The one main issue though I have, other than them breaking, is the fact that it only plays that single piece of jazz, which gets really old and annoying really quick because it's not just a couple phrases, it's just a singular piece of jazz, and I don't know, it gets really old really fast. So I feel like they could have made an option maybe where you would spend a bit more, but they'd have some sort of Bluetooth feature installed. Overall, they're pretty cool. I would recommend them because they're actually they're only $160, which is pretty cheap for these, so buy them while you can. But yeah, if you like jazz, 100% get these guys. They're pretty neat.
You caught my eye. I'm giving out some candy.
So Nibbles is coming in at number 8, and honestly, I feel like him as a whole, he's pretty solid. Generally, I don't know, he's kind of basic looking, but overall, I feel like they're going to build onto the concept of the motion tracking a lot. That's pretty amazing for these Halloween animatronics and a great concept, and I believe it's going to go far. Nibbles himself, the head turn and mouth movement looks fine. I'm not a big fan of the arm movement. It doesn't make a ton of sense, but In general, the character is kind of just bland, but overall, I mainly just really like him for the motion tracking. I think that's a really solid mechanism to put in one of these, so I'll keep it short and simple here. I just find him cool.
Moon lights the blackened sky. Dark creatures wander in the pale moonlight.
So coming in at number 7 is the Lowe's 12-foot tall Scarecrow. I'm not sure if he has an official name other than that, but regardless, he's a pretty solid prop. He's very basic, but honestly, his height makes him just way scarier than you actually would think, and I feel like this would creep a lot of kids out. Overall, I just am one to like Scarecrow and clown props, so this guy's right up my alley since he is a Scarecrow. He's pretty basic with, as far as I'm aware, just having a jaw movement and light up eyes. But overall, I think he's a pretty solid prop, and I definitely think he deserves a spot on this list. He may not be my favorite, but he's up there.
Death from eternity with all of us.
So this is number 6, which is Lowe's 12-foot bone collector. He's very similar in size to the Scarecrow since they're both 12 foot and they have very similar just proportions. I put him above the Scarecrow just because he does have another movement, and his eyes, if I remember correctly, the LEDs make him look like he's looking side to side, which is pretty neat. So overall, I think he's just a little better than the Scarecrow, but they are very similar. I don't know. He's not my favorite once again, but I do think he's neat and deserves a spot on this list. I would definitely recommend this guy. He's cool.
Yum, yum, yum! Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's not.
So, Cotton Candy Dan is number 5, and this was a really hard choice because he's really cool. Like, I really love his design. I think he looks good. I think he's just really cool. I mean, personally, I think he's one of the best props that came out this year. Spirit, like, they did great with him. But the one reason I put him in the middle is just because I feel like out of all the props, he's probably one of the most overpriced. I mean, he's really cool, so trust me, if someone found him on like discount, or if they found him reselling for less somehow, definitely get him. I mean, I'm looking for him, but he's like, if I remember correctly, $350, which, trust me, he's really cool, but I don't think he's worth that. But regardless, even with the over-the-top price, he's like, he's a gold mine of a prop. He's really cool. I mean, I don't know. If he cost less, I would have put him probably in like number 3, but that price is scarier than the prop himself, honestly. But regardless, he is cool.
I'm looking for someone to play hide and seek with. You go hide and I'll come fight.
So coming in at a solid number 4 is the creepy towering clown. I think this guy's around 6.5 feet tall specifically. He is just awesome in general. I feel like even people who don't like clown props that much would probably like this guy. Overall, he's not like the most advanced or anything, but his movements do look good. His voice lines are a little cheesy, but they're alright. And overall, I just really like how he looks. I mean, his cosmetics, they are pretty good looking. The color scheme is nice, and the face mold looks good as well, which is always a plus because sometimes clown props can get a bit off the cuff and ugly, but luckily this guy did not. He looks really good. There really isn't a ton more to say about him. He's pretty basic, but at the same time, I do really like this guy, and I think his voice sounds cool too, so he's definitely one that I would recommend getting. So, coming in number 3, we finally made it to the finals, is Honky the Clown. He is honestly kind of a mixed prop, I feel like, in the fan base. A lot of people like him, you know, but also a lot of people don't like him. And I feel like I know why. Relatively, Honky the Clown just really isn't scary. He's more or less just goofy, so that takes away a lot from some people. Personally, I think that clowns are meant to be goofy, even in their creepy form, which kind of is, I don't know, I feel like goofiness is the purpose of them. So this guy, he I was gonna say he speaks to me, but he more or less honks at me. He just, in case you don't know, he was initially made in 2011, and he has some slight basic movements, and he just honks a clown and he laughs, and that's it. And honestly, like I said, I mean, it's not the creepiest thing, but I feel like it's pretty fitting for a clown, especially one that's named Honky. So I gladly put him in this spot, and I hope to get him sometime, because he's genuinely one that I do, in my opinion, really like. And I understand why some people wouldn't, but once again, this is just my opinion and my personal view. And yeah, Honky, he's up there. He's pretty neat. So coming in as the runner-up for my favorite Halloween animatronic, number 2, is the original sitting scarecrow. Now, this, when I say original, I mainly mean the one from 2016 and 2017, but any that just have the original design will do. Personally, overall, I just think this guy is a cool prop in general. I know he is extremely simple, that's pretty obvious, but honestly, I feel like the simplicity adds to him, and I think he's very neat. I've seen these a lot growing up, and I've just always thought they were really cool, so I thought I kind of needed to put him this high. He's so simple, so basic, but overall, I think he gets the job done, and I've seen quite a few people get scared by them just because he simply catches them off guard. And I do like this version a lot more than the scary sitting scarecrow, because his face is just overall better looking. It's more simple, but at the same time more realistic, and you could believe there's a person in there. So overall, I definitely think that this guy is the well-deserved placeholder of my current second favorite Spirit Halloween or Halloween bot in general. Now on to the final bot, my personal favorite as of now.
Go! Boo! I just love that game! Particularly with crying little babies!
That's right, you heard it here first. My personal favorite is actually the Peekaboo Clown that was sold at Spirit. Now I know he's not the most complex, and I know he's not everyone's favorite, but personally, I love this guy. I don't have one because these things retailed for quite a bit, and they resell for quite a bit more. So, I mean, I have my eye out, but I don't have one at the moment. Regardless though, even though I don't have one, he's still like my top favorite. And I doubt that's going to change. His collar scheme looks really good. The eye swirl effect looks great. The mouth looks good. Overall, the entire head sculpt and mask, it looks amazing. I love it. And his arm movements look decent, you know? And on top of that, his voice actor, like, they did a pretty solid job. I think his voice lines are pretty good. All in all, this prop is generally one of my entire favorites. I mean, he's cool. He's really cool. So, yeah, that's my personal favorite. He's not anything special or anything, but he's just something I find extremely interesting and overall neat. Therefore, I put him in first place. So, yeah, that's about that for all my favorites. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a bit of fun to make, and let me know in the comments what your favorite bots are. Once again, this is just my opinion. These are not by any means the best bots out there. This is just what I think are my personal favorites. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and have a happy Halloween.